going back and checking out a clip here of Layne Staley, former Alice in Chains lead singer. Some real rock history here as Layne talks about when he first met Jerry Cantrell. Layne was living in a rehearsal space at the time. The name of that place was called the Music Bank. That name will be familiar to Alice in Chains fans, of course. They would go on to release a box set with that same name. And as Layne explains here, he met Jerry at a party. He had no place to live, no family around him at the time, so Layne invited him to come back and stay with him. And the rest, of course, is rock and roll history. So let's check it out with Layne Staley now as he breaks it all down on how it all first began.
I met Jerry at a party, just out of the blue. I didn't think he was the coolest guy in the world or anything. He had no family in the area, so he's kind of struggling, didn't have any money or a place to stay or anything.
And me, being completely drunk, just offered this total stranger a place to stay and clothes and food and musical instruments.
2 days later, he moved his stuff up into the rehearsal room that I was working to, and he got himself a little 4-track and kind of started out there writing and jamming with some people.
He was playing with some guys that I thought just weren't up to par with the music he was writing. And I remember meeting Mike and Sean prior to that.
Mike Starr, by the way, was wearing a bathrobe, cowboy boots, and a cowboy hat on a Honda motorcycle. So I just, I don't know why, but those two guys popped into mind. It was about 2 years later when the whole thing with Jerry was happening.
I remember they were really cocky and overconfident, and I said, why don't you give these guys a try? It clicked right away, so we kind of did a trade-off. Jerry played guitar in my band, and I sang for his band.
After a while, that wasn't working. The guys wanted a commitment, so they auditioned singers, and that pissed me off, so I quit my band and joined this one.
So there it is. Layne really helped out Jerry a ton in those early days. Got him a place to stay, musical instruments, got him a job, and they went on to form one of the greatest rock bands that there's ever been. And so this was the first incarnation of the band. You got Mike Starr on bass. They went from this to this. Mike Inez replacing Mike Starr. And then from this to this. And this is how we know them today. The band, of course, lost Layne Staley back in 2002, but they continued on with their new singer, William Duvall. So there it goes, guys. Bit of rock history there. Thanks heaps for tuning in as always. Be sure to drop a like down below. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. We'll catch you next time.